is Snyderman, and this is Conversations on Creating to Heal. And today I'm thrilled to be speaking with Teresa Marks from San Jose, California. And Teresa is a singer-songwriter, and hers is a story of continuing to create music to minister to others, despite the onset of a rare autoimmune disease almost 2 years ago, and the battle that it's waging on her. Welcome, Teresa. So briefly, maybe you can talk about how you creatively identify yourself and maybe a short mission or purpose.
I would say overall I categorize myself as an artist. I focus mostly on singer-songwriter aspect. Music's always been something I really love. Before I got sick and my hands worked well, I liked to do other things. Like I made these earrings and I would take men's ties and turn them into necklaces and just do some fun stuff like that.
Those are beautiful, and what a neat way to take something and make it something physical and something that you can wear. I love that. Yeah.
Thanks.
So let's talk about your story. So I had mentioned that your story is continuing to create, to minister music to others, despite
Yes.
the onset of a rare disease. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe talk about how that has most significantly transformed you?
Yeah, sure. Music's been a part of my life before I got sick. I already was a singer-songwriter before I got sick. In fact, my albums, these were published before I got sick. And my purpose beforehand was really to minister to others and myself, honestly, just by demonstrating love, perseverance, all those things through my music. When I got sick, it really turned my life a 180. I had a career, 20 plus year career. The music was just a side thing. And when we got the diagnosis, it was pretty scary. When you Google dermatomyositis, it kind of makes you think you're going to die tomorrow. So my husband and I had to kind of walk through that, and it has affected my singing because it's attacking the connective tissue and muscles in my body, and that includes the vocal cords. So I've lost part of my singing range, which has been incredibly frustrating. I sing every Sunday at church. I'm the female vocalist in the band, and we've had to take songs and change keys or just, trash them all together. And so it's frustrating. I used to ride 2 motorcycles. I can't do that anymore. I had to sell them, trade them in for electric wheelchair and a cane and a walker, depending on what I'm doing. But I begged God, don't take my singing, please don't take that. And he has not completely taken it. And so I can continue to just really walk through all of my own emotions, writing the songs I'm working on right now on my second album, kind of reflect my journey through grieving the loss of certain things, but still finding joy every single day that, I'm not dead, I'm not in the ground, and there's still plenty of things to celebrate every single day.
Well, I too can definitely relate and resonate. So for the viewers out there, I suffer from the same condition, dermatomyositis. So when I'm listening to you, I understand how something, unexpected can take things away and leave you in a different place. And I admire, that you've been able to turn to something like singing and to your place of joy to remind yourself, that you are not the disease.
Exactly.
So I appreciate that, you're sharing it and that you've been able to take something like that and create. How are you drawn to music? It sounds like you've been doing it for a long time. Is that something that was from childhood, or was it something that you turned to in a different way when you ended up getting the onset of the illness?
Well, I've always loved music, and I had an ear for it. My friends and I'd be listening to the radio, and a song would start to come on as the DJ's talking, and I'd start singing the song, and they're like, I don't even hear music playing. How do you know that's the song he was going to play? But I didn't think I could sing or do anything with it. It was just kind of a passion. And then one day as an adult, I was going through my drawers, and I found an old folder with some poems I'd written in high school. And I found one I wrote about some boy, who knows who it was. But at the time, it actually made me think about Jesus. So I took it to this kid at church that played guitar, and I said, hey, can you put some music to this? And a couple weeks later, he came back and played a song using my poem, and I was hooked. So I'm the kind of person that once I decide something, I just go for it. So next thing you know, I'm on a plane to Nashville. I'm taking a 2-week songwriting course, and you had to submit a song for the finale. And if you got chosen, you had to perform it. And of course, I was like, I don't know how to sing this song. So the church band basically said, well, why don't you come and just sing it for us on our practice night? And so I did. And they said, well, the floor is not your audience. Your hair's okay. Your shirt's okay. Because I pretty much sing like this. And I went, and of course, my song didn't win or anything. But I came back, and the band director said, you know what? Why don't you come sing with us? And I said, I don't think you want me to. How about I run the soundboard? And he said, no, come up and sing. So that was really a very safe place for me to really start investigating my abilities to sing. So I hired a vocal coach, and just kind of went, one thing became another, and then it turned into, instead of him coaching me, him producing me, and I had all these songs I had written, and that was the genesis of Restless. And now I've got one more song to go, and the second album will be out. So,
well, congratulations on that. That's exciting. Yeah, that's exciting. So how has creating actually manifest in healing, and how do you experience it? So for you, it sounds like, especially because spirituality might be, deep in your heart. Yes. How is that healing manifest for you?
When I'm singing, I cannot be thinking about how bad I feel. I can be standing on the stage, singing a song, having a hot flash from the prednisone, feeling weak. I sit down half the time now because I can't even stand. But I can't focus on the bad. I can only just, in that moment, I'm really just enjoying what I love. And it's a way of journaling, so to speak. The songwriting is my way of journaling. I don't have a journal. I just write songs.
Gosh, it's a lovely way that you described it. I can really feel that, both because of resonance and also just the poetry that you just described. So thank you for that.
One thing I've noticed, that as I write music for myself in my own journaling kind of way, I publish these songs, and then people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, that one song that you wrote, it totally ministers to me. You wrote it exactly for me, for this moment. And I think, well, actually, I wrote it for me in the particular moment I was facing. But I'm always amazed and very pleased to see how it can help other people get through whatever it is that they're facing. And that's what actually brings me the greatest joy and keeps me doing this.
Well, I love that, and I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm glad that your music can be healing for others as well as yourself. So I want to invite you to share a meaningful piece of your music with us. Maybe something inspired by your journey with dermatomyositis that led you to create it, and maybe talk about how creating it is helping you.
The song from my first album is called Love Speaks Louder, and I was inspired at a women's conference where she was talking about the lies we believe about ourselves as women, about being ugly and worthless, and how the Bible tells a different story and speaks that we are beautiful and loved and all of these things. And the love of God is much louder in our ears, and should be louder in our ears, than those lies we learned as a child about our self-identity. So it's a rock song, and it's called Love Speaks Louder. The song I'd really like to share is called Dancing in the Fog. It's actually a hip hop song, and it's about the fact that I'm walking down this path and all of a sudden there's a fog and I can't see what's going to happen, so I'm just going to stop and dance in the moment. And that really is basically where I'm at right now.
I woke up one morning to the sun shining on my face. As the day went its way, the clouds settled into place. The path before me disappeared, I could only see a haze. I looked left I looked right, my head spinning in a daze. I heard you calling my name gently through the mist. You said, don't panic, I'm still here, you get the gist. It does not matter if you can see down the path or not. I got your left and your right, your back and your front. So I'll dance in the fall and throw my hands to the sky. I don't know where I'll be, ain't nothing ahead that I can see.
Lastly, I just want to thank you for coming on to Conversations on Creating to Heal and ask if you have any final life lessons or perhaps final words that you want to impart the viewers based on your experience and journey with creativity and healing, and maybe for somebody who's going through something similar.
Yes, absolutely. The one thing that I'm constantly saying to myself, and when friends ask me why I have such a good attitude throughout this disease, I tell them that I remind myself daily that a bad attitude does not make the disease go away, but it makes my friends go away. So there's no point in me being self-absorbed and poopy pants about how I feel that day. It's just going to drive everybody away, and then I'm going to be alone and feel bad instead of be with friends and feel bad. And the other thing you kind of alluded to at the beginning was that I am not dermatomyositis. It is something that has happened to me. It is not me. It has affected things that I might have previously, before the disease, identified myself with. Like, I was a biker chick. I was a commercial real estate property manager, but I'm not. And this disease has actually taught me that I am none of those things. I am me. Those are things I do or I did. So the disease is just a part of my life, but it's not who I am.
Well, I love it. I love your optimism and your attitude, and I just humbly appreciate you coming on the show with us. Thanks.
I appreciate you taking the time to interview me. Thank you.